Last night, the NBA draft, I'll say this, guys. It played out like I thought it would. We don't, and I'm saying we as in fans, all right, for the hardcore basketball fans out there, maybe you knew all these guys, but it's not like the NFL draft.
No.
You don't follow the players and the teams accordingly. And again, some of these guys are foreign players, which has been, the norm in the NBA. Some are G League guys, unless you follow G League. And then you have your college players. We end up picking a kid out of Michigan, Kobe Bufkin. He's 6'5", long, athletic.
Got like a 6'8" wingspan.
Yeah, a pterodactyl. He
should tie his shoes without bending his knees, basically.
He plays on both ends of the floor. He is a great three-point shooter, okay, for college. And again, it's college. But when you talk about averaging over 40% from beyond the arc, that's a really good statistic. But here's the deal for me, guys, and I like the pick only because I like guys that can score and put it in the basket. He can do that.
Oh, he can play a little defense, too.
But that's the thing, Rob. We need more guys who are focused on that end of the floor. So, again, he's 19. I'm going to put this in perspective.
Just a baby.
He could be a 2-3 year deal before we actually see how good he really is. Can he come in immediately and maybe make some noise? We'll see. A.J. Griffin got some run last year. Yep. We'll see if he can come in and gain some playing time. But bottom line is they took what they thought was the best player on the board at the time. And we're going to talk to Landry Fields about this coming up today also around 4:40 and get his take on not only the draft but where our team is going. And we were just talking about this with not Andy and Randy. Andy's out, but obviously Randy. And last night after the draft was over and he's talking to reporters, he basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, but you can go read it, that you guys, this is going to take time.
Oh, I hated
that. I thought we had arrived, Rob. I thought we were on the cusp.
I thought we just needed a little seasoning.
Yes.
Get some of those good, solid role players that you need.
That's what I thought.
I mean, dude, I had to go through the late 90s, early 2000s rebuild, and I've been following this team since the 70s. I've endured 60-loss season after 60-loss season. Now it's going to take time. And that never means less than 3 years, it doesn't seem like.
Well, listen, we're going to ask him about it because
we'll get contact with him.
Yeah, that's what I need. I mean, are you saying time like in the summer? Like this offseason? Or do you mean time as in it's going to take a few years for us to get the right pieces?
Or is it biblical? One day is 1,000 years, 1,000 years is one day. I mean, hell, I don't know.
Because if that's the case, then I am going to have a big problem. Because, again, I thought we had at least some of the right pieces. Some of you guys want to just completely retool, and I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that's the answer. You want to get rid of everybody, keep Trey, and just start over. If that's the case, this is a 3 or 4 year deal.
I don't care.
Yes, you do. Because you want to win, and I want to win. So we're going to talk to Landry Fields about that coming up at 4:40 today here on Dukes and Bell. Guys, follow us. Mike Bell, ATL. Mike's out today. Put him up. See Dukes. And, of course, Dukes and Bell 929. And you can always hit us up on our Solomon Brothers Diamond text line at 404-726-0929. We are live on Twitch, by the way. Jason's running our cameras. ATL 929 The Game. You can ask questions there as well. And on YouTube at 929 The Game. Rob, as far as the NBA draft, just generally speaking, and look, Victor went first. There's no secret the Spurs are going to draft Victor Wembanyama. Brandon Miller, the kid out of Alabama, goes 2.
Right.
Scoot Henderson, an Atlanta kid, goes 3 to Portland. We talked about the Twins getting drafted. They go back-to-back. I mean, it kind of played out the way I thought it would, and that's why I can't really criticize if you say, hey, you really like this pick. I like the fact that they had options at 15, and they took the best guy that they thought was the best guy on the board at that particular time.
Well, this kid was considered a lottery pick going into the draft last night. And I love what you said, and it's perfectly – I agree with as far as NFL draft. I know who the guys are.
Yep.
I don't follow college basketball like I once did because it's just not as interesting to me. Now, what do most people do? They watch it in March. But come the draft time, I'll start, studying up and watching tape on guys to get some sort of a perspective. But, like I said, this guy plays defense. But my big question, my big takeaway immediately when they took him, I was thinking, is this an insurance policy in case DeJounte Murray bolts next year? Season?
Well, I talked a little bit about this yesterday, Robin, saying they better have a plan for this. And this helps. If you watch this young man, Kobe Bufkin, kind of plays like DeJounte. He plays defense. He's long. He probably is a better shot blocker when you're talking about getting back in transition D and helping, but he kind of plays like him. I think this is a good move from that standpoint as well. if you just tell me, hey, we took the best player and we're going to work him in and he'll find some playing time somewhere soon, that's fine. But long term, are they looking at this as a move in case they lose DeJounte Murray? And I said this yesterday, Rob, there's a good chance they can. I mean, we could have a really good season next year, and he still may not feel like this is the best place for him to be,
right,
and walks. So, I don't know how he feels if we get, make a run to the championship. That's a different story. But let's just say we're first rounded out next year again.
Well, Murray's not going to want to go to some team that's rebuilding, though. So that's gonna limit the pot a little bit. So does that make him more desirable? Maybe he can get more assets in return because he would be so coveted, based on the fact that he's not going to go somewhere where there's a rebuild. He doesn't want to deal with that.
I don't think so either. And listen, I think DJ does like the idea. Everybody said they signed off on this, meaning Trey and DJ, before this trade was made, despite the former general manager being against it, and we now know that. But I think he likes the idea of playing with another guy in the backcourt like Trey who can get it done. And, there's not all this pressure on him to deliver every night, all the time. And I think that's part of the makeup of a lot of these teams with other stars. When guys go play with other guys, it's like, you know what? You realize you need help. I just didn't think it worked this year. That's all. I'm not saying it won't work next year, but I just didn't feel like night in and night out we got the best DJ and Trey together.
Well, now we have a coach who's apparently able to do that because he does something that the former coach did not, and that's something known as teaching. It's true. Nate wanted polished players. He wasn't about teaching. He wanted polished NBA guys.
We're flat.
Yeah. We're flat.
Yes, he did. He wanted guys that knew how to play and didn't want to invest in necessarily the teaching stuff. Now, I will say this. LP allegedly, I don't know if he got enough time to do it, but that's another reason why they hired LP when he got the job, was he was supposed to be one of these young guys, teachers, communicators. Well, I don't know if he got enough time to do all that.
Well, when you're not speaking to your star player,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Not much teaching is going to be going on.
That's a good point. It's Dukes and Bell at Sports Radio.
Not ready to go.
Yeah, it's Dukes and Bell Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Let's hear from Nate the rest of the day.
Oh, man,
miss Nate.
It's gold. It was gold. Honestly, when he got let go, I was disappointed because I knew we wouldn't be able to play these sound bites. Because every day, Rob, we'd come in and he'd have the same thing to say night in and night out.
What's that look on his face he always had on the sidelines, too? Like he was waiting for his laxative to kick in. Just sitting there with his arms folded, just sitting there with that look on his face. I missed that.
But every day, it was literally like, and here's the thing, at least he was honest, because he wasn't lying. When he came out and was like, hey, we didn't play with pace or tempo or whatever it might be.
Playing at a slow pace.
Yeah, he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying.